So good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, audible.
Okay,
Completely audible, sir.
okay. So good evening, everyone. On the fifth day of our FDP, it is my great privilege to introduce our distinguished speaker, Dr. Rohit Thanki, sir. He is an accomplished AI researcher and medtech innovator based in Wolfsburg, Germany. Sir has 15 years of R&D experience, including more than 8 years in the medtech domain. Dr. Rohit sir has dedicated his career to developing AI-powered healthcare solutions that are clinically impactful, regulatory ready, and scientifically validated. His expertise spans medical image analysis, deep learning, generative AI, and large language models, with, with pioneering work at the intersection of AI, medicine, and product development. Dr. Rohit sir has made remarkable contributions in cancer diagnostics and screening, developing AI models for lung, oral, colorectal, breast, thyroid, cervical, brain, and bone cancer detection. He has also advanced applications in diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, COVID-19, fracture detection, and digital health solutions, including synthetic data generation for orthopedic risk prediction and rehabilitation modeling. Uh, a prolific researcher, Dr. Rohit Sir, has authored over 100 peer-reviewed publications, more than 20 academic books with leading publishers like Springer, CRC Press, and elsewhere. His work has been cited extensively with an H index of 23. He also served as a reviewer and editorial board member for leading international journals. Beyond his research, he is currently exploring the potential of agentic AI and intelligent agents to design next generation AI assistant for healthcare and research. Today, Dr. Rohit sir will share his insights on AI powered medical image analysis in healthcare 5.0, highlighting how AI can revolutionize diagnosis, uh, clinical decision making, and the future of patient care. So please join me in warmly welcoming Dr. Rohit Thanki, sir. Sir, over to you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Audible, sir.
thank you, sir. Yeah. So I can share my screen. So yeah, can you see my screen?
Uh, yes, sir. Now visible.
Yeah. So thank you for the introductions, and so I give my lectures on this. I can say the AI powered medical image analysis in the healthcare 5.0. So means now I can share one more news like that. Means I am the startups will be in India in the end of this month in the like name of the oncodignostic, which is means all this work which I right now presenting or my expert in this field I start to means give the demonstration in this lecture to means give various tools which can be used in the upcoming healthcare system, or I can say the healthcare in 5 or means right now we are in the means of the, like there are in few areas in the world there the healthcare 4.0 is running, and the some part of the world where they are advancing the things in the 5.0 means level. So there means mixing of these two industrial level in the healthcare industry, because the adoption of this kind of technology are differ in the various part of the world. So yeah, means so my mostly focus on the like image analysis, or I can say the medical image analysis in using AI in the healthcare domain, how the this medical image analysis can be useful which can means help the doctors to save their time and means give that time to the patient to interact with them to means get the more insight from the disease. So in this 2 days lecture agenda means I covered the like overview of the healthcare 4.0 and the 5.0, then give the fundamental of AI and its integrations in the healthcare. Then the means I give the application of the AI power image analysis in the healthcare. Then the I also give some demo videos of some products which I already developed in this area, and give the means what is the benefits and challenging of this AI driven medical imaging technology, and then future perspectives and the innovation. So these are the agenda points for the today's talk. So I just start with the overview of the healthcare 4.0 and the 5.0. So like what is the 4.0 healthcare? Like the health is nothing but the new evolution in the healthcare industry where we are combining the digital technology with the patient centric care. Like that you heard many companies are in the world they are trying to develop the digital technology which is means mostly focus on the patient centric because or the end users are the doctors, but the doctors are use this technology on the patient. So like this technology will be the means center of this all the technology. The patient is the main user, so I can say the main object where you are tested this technology. So what is in this technology? Like there we are trying to connect the various healthcare systems to means make this seamless communication between the various healthcare providers, device, and patient to coordinate the care, like we see right now in the world, or in the particular India, where you are going to the different doctors, you have to do the means some kind of reports again. So like this kind of miscommunication is happening in the healthcare system. So using this connectivity of the different health ecosystems, so which is the means part of this healthcare 4.0, like in Europe they just started over here this kind of projects to means interconnect the various hospitals in the Germany and as well as the other part of the European country. So this is the just started over here. So like the 4.0 means just started in Europe, but in other part like UAE where they are already connected, this kind of means healthcare systems between two hospitals they are already connected. So using one card you can means get share your data. Then the real time data utilization, like you heard about the medicine or the tele uh, diagnostic things, which is the like where the doctor can analyze the data means instantly when something is happened. So variable means send the data to the hospitals or the doctor's device, so doctor can react on the spot. So this kind of means things are covered in that, and then means the patient engagement, which is the one of the important things to means communicate or the educate the means patient about this all the kind of tools, how to use that, how you can engage with the hospitals and your health doctors to means use this technology. So these all the points are try to cover in the healthcare 4.0. Then the what is a 5.0? Like it means it is a transforming vision combining advanced technology with a patient care. So right now, right, proactive and preventing care, like we are say about like using AI, we can detect the means after 5 years what is happen to what will be happen to this patient or this person. So that kind of means proactive or prevention of the care before it is happening. So this kind of early intervention or the prevention to improve the patient health outcomes. So this kind of R&D work is already going on in this area. Then the personalized patient care, like we are talking about right now, the personal medicine or the personalized medicine, like so analyze the means patient to patient data and means prescribe the means medicine which is suitable for that patient. So this kind of means products or this kind of technology are right now researchers and the means companies are developing, which are enable with the means AI power. So AI means analyze particular patient data, and then based on that data analysis is give the some kind of means medicines or the prescription regarding to the health condition of that patient. And the third is integrated the collaborations, like there means I already told that means there are no seamless collaboration with the means different hospitals, which is we try to connect right now, but there are also there's no inter connection between the different countries and different continent, like so there are no means clear things or communication between the doctors and the different healthcare systems, also the healthcare system from one country to other country, which is one of the example is a COVID, where there's no communications or between the countries, where all countries are have their own policies, and then after few months or after there are various discussion, they have come with some kind of policies. So there are this kind of means collaborations is required to develop the means this kind of technology. Hello, someone is raised and any question?
No, no, sir. Right now we have muted the mics of all participants. So we will
Okay.
open the mic during the question answer session.
Okay, no problem. So means that's why I can means give my lectures fast, because I can give the lots of means input in this field, so they can
Yes,
means
sir.
ask.
Yes.
Yeah, because there are lots of means technical things, and is already means I not cover any theoretical part or anything in my lecture. So now
Yes.
means yeah. So next is integration of the digital technology in healthcare. So right now we are working on the integration of the AI and IoT in healthcare systems. Like this is the two major technology which is used in the medical field. Like AI is used in the various data analysis of the medical field. Like I can say one example right now I'm presenting like image analysis. Then there are also clinical data, which is then there are various kind of other data, which is means you I can say the RNA data or the DNA chains data, and IoT, which is the means connection of or the internet of the things. So like we have the various sensors which is used as a variable on our body, and they collect some data, which data you have to transfer to the hospitals or the transfer to the doctor, which can be possible using the internet of the thing technology. So this is the one means things are right now doing that means many companies are trying to integrate this kind of technology in the real healthcare systems. Then second is the big data analysis, like you heard about that data side. Right now the AI is struggling to make the generalized thing, because there are no means data which represent all kind of means demographics. So there means all the data sets which is available is limited. So there are many companies are trying to develop the data pool which have the large amount of data over there, and which can be analyzed using AI in the medical field. And then cloud computing means we are using the cloud facility now to transfer the data from the home to the hospitals. And so this is the this kind of technology are tried to integrate in the healthcare systems right now. And this I can say research and development is going on in this area. So now I give the fundamental of AI in its integration in the healthcare systems. So the basic concept of AI and machine learning. So these are the two major machine learning techniques. Like identify the patterns autonomously with the means some programming algorithms, and give some meaningful output. And means is try like in image processing is try to learn from the patterns of the image, and give them is some classification or the type of disease in the medical field. So this is basic of AI. Now I give the means what kind of images are can be analyzed by the AI. So like first type is the radiologist images. They are X-ray, CT scan, MRI, ultrasound, PET scan, expect scan, the hybrid images. So these are the images which is the we heard this word means our routine life regularly. So these are the images can be analyzed according to the disease. Doctor can prescribe the imaging things, and then they are analyzed these kind of images. Then second is the pathology and the microscopic images. These images are used in the particularly in the cancer malignance means proofing, like they have the suspect of the cancers or the some kind of cells abnormality in the body. Then they take the biopsy of that area and means do the digital slicings and then analyze to identify which kind of cells are presented in the image, and based on that they are means give the treatment further. Then third is the orthonomies images, which is the means purely focus on the eyes related means disease. So like the fundus photographics, then the optical coherence tomography, and then fluorescent angiography. So these are the images can be analyzed using AI, and there are many tools are right now are developing for this kind of image analysis. Then the determinologist images, which is the like demoscopic image and the clinical photographs, so which is used mostly in the skin related disease identification. I give the means one example on this, like how to you can use the clinical photographs to detect the various kind of skin cancers means level. Then this is the then the cardiologic images, which is the like ECG images, cardiac MRI and CT scan. So there are then this and then the various onco images like mammogram, PET scan for the tumors, and then radiotherapy planning images. So these are the various images can be analyzed using AI, and that this is the type of dentist images which is used for the means identify the oral related uh, disease. So you can see this is the various kind of images like panoramic dental X-ray, which is used to means identify various condition of the death, means teeth related means things. Also like the oral cavity images are used right now to identify the means oral cancers related screening. So these are the images are used in the oral disease means detection or the screening. Then these are the other specialized image like endoscopic images, which is used nowadays to identify the means colorectal cancers in the human body. And the surgical videos, like there are many uh, videos are taken to analyze by AI to find what kind of means thing can be improved after means surgery. So doctors are and means recorded these videos during a surgery, and then they analyze what can be improved to, or what kind of procedure can be redesigned. So this kind of means analysis can be done using AI. Then then I give the core techniques in the AI based medical image analysis. So these are the two means measure I can say machine learning and deep learning algorithm used in the image analysis, like the traditional machine learning algorithm, which can extract the various features from the image and also from the medical data to make some kind of risk prediction. And the deep learning with the CNN, which is mostly used for the detections of the various kind of disease classes using based on the data set which you feed as a input. These are the two major means algorithms of AI are used for the medical image analysis. So now I not means this is the standard steps of the means image pre-processing, image segmentations, then the feature extractions. These are the basic things. So I not covered these, but they are very important in the medical field. Like you require the accurate annotated data to means train your AI system. Otherwise, your AI is having the bias. It cannot be used as a actual product in the medical field. You can only demonstrate as a research point of view, but once you are trying to develop some kind of AI product, you have to require this annotation of that data set will be important, and it will be, or it can be done by the doctors, not by the any technical person or any unexperienced people. So this is the one of the important point in the means when you design any AI based systems using medical images. Then these are the some examples of machine learning models which is used in the medical image analysis, like PCA support vector machines, then the K nearest neighbors, and the random forest and decision tree. So these all are means a basic algorithm which is used on the classification of the various images data set which have the extracted feature from the image. And then there are large pool of the deep learning models which is used nowadays in the medical image analysis, like you can see the CNN model which is used for the classification, detection, segmentations, and the feature extraction based on the data set which you feed in that. Then the image segmentation model, where the unit is used for the detection of the tumor in the image or in the medical image. Then the marks are seen, and then the nowadays, like these feature extraction models are used in the LLM based concepts like vision transformation, then the object detection. So these are the means models which is used to develop in and use in the medical image analysis. Then now I give the means application of this AI power image analysis in the healthcare. So first means AI can use to early detections of the disease and diagnostics of that. So using AI can mean spot the disease sign early than the traditional method, which allow the faster diagnosis than the timely intervention. Once you get the means diagnostic in the means faster manner, AI this means then you can do the intervention very fast. So these are both are interconnected the things. So like AI can be used for this both the things. Then means automation of the image in interpretation workflows. Like it can be AI can reduce the clinic workflow. Like may they are automate the means image analysis and which reduce the workload for the clinicians. Then the disease monitoring, like AI can monitor the disease prognosis and the therapy response through the image assessment techniques. So like in the example like that, means doctor take the patient image today and see what is the means in that image. After 1 week, they take the image again and then means see what is the difference is happening. So this kind of monitoring can be done, and it means AI can use to means dynamize the treatment according to the means what is the response of the patient on the particular therapy. So like images can be used for that kind of means define the strategy for the means further treatment planning. Then AI in radiology, like what is used in the radiology, like it is used to early abnormality detection. It also improve the, diagnostic accuracy. Like AI is already many research prove that AI is means spotted the tumor in the means breast cancer, which is means a higher rate compared to the human means accuracy, and also using the means reduce the work load. So which helping to means fix the workflow in the clinic. So like it can be improve the productivity of the doctors. Doctor can treat more patients in the hospitals, where AI can help them to means make the diagnostics and helping them to make this analysis in the faster manner. Now then the AI can be used in the pathology and astrology analysis, like AI precision in diagnostics. Then the fast these are the so AI is used in the accuracy of the pathology side. Like the as per my knowledge, like many the existing pathology slides in the market which have the size of 80K across 80K, like this amount of images are available in the market to analyze. So this kind of means analysis of this kind of images it takes a lots of time, and there are lots of means human error is appearing in that. So and it's also like time taking process, like 3 to means many cases 1 month to 3 months taken only for the few image means pathologist slice analysis. So This kind of means analysis of the images, AI is useful over there. And this is the same thing like using that analysis, you can means personalize that treatment and that all the give the more details information on that. Then the AI can be used in the various other area like ophthalmology, like eye related means disease can be detected using AI with the help of the means eye images. Then the AI can be used in the cardiologist where the various heart related images can be used to means use and then analyze to give the better intervention and the planning for the means heart related disease. And is also used in the patients specialties cares like various means area of the healthcare. Now I give the one means use case how AI can be used in the AI based image classification can be used to the misdetection of the cervical cancer. So like which this is the use case which means analyze the various pap smear cells which is used in the cervical cancer to identify which kind of cells are available means present in that area of the cervix. So means where means doctors are take the means see one means the tumors cells they means create the digital slides and then analyze. So this kind of means cells is presented over there. So which all cells has a different means characteristic in that like physical intermediate like in the normal cell. So these all are the cells are available in the means when the women's get the cervix cancer. So these where the all the cells has a different means characteristic like you can see the diacrostics is like abnormal cells. So these cells you can means identify. So I use the one means data set which is means already generated by the researchers over in the European country. So and we are developing a simple deep learning model which is not means very means is only three convolution layer network and only two neural layers. So it like very simple model, and we are achieve the accuracy around 85 to around that right now. So we are working on that to improve this accuracy and the because this is a actual data set, so you have to means get the more and more iteration to achieve the means higher accuracy as per the industrial standard. We are already in that range like 75 to 90% set, so they are not means bother about us to means improve that bit on that right now. And so you see like ROC of this like is give the very more than 90%. So like our model is working very good, which can be used as a we can use as a product in the future. So means we just means so you can see over here user uh, or analysis of the different kind of cells can be done over here. So this is the means one use case I give the means how you can do the image analysis using AI. So like you can see the five different, and I also give means how you can use these kind of models in the product. I also demonstrate that things in the next few slides. And now I give the some digital health application based on the image analysis. So means this is one use case, or I can say one product which is used in the AI powered breast cancer screening software. So this is the mean simple. I give the idea how you can use the AI based image analysis. Like you can see over here, like the first stage, like trial screening, like which is where you feed your input images. Like the image can be mammogram, image can be place ultrasound. So you can enter that image. Then the screening is a means is a deep learning model, which is the simple CNN based model. Using that model, you means screen that image. Like image has some kind of cancer syndromes. It means image has something like tumor or not. If there is no tumor is present in the means in image, then there are no further treatment is required. So if that tumor is presented in the system in the image, then that means you can have to find location of that tumor. So then we have used the second means deep learning model, so which is a means image segmented model, or I can say the model which can identify the ROI or the tumor in the image. So you using that AI model, you can detect that cancer tumor. Once you detect that cancer tumor in image, then you require to identify what kind of tumor it is, because the tumor have the means primary has a two types. One is a benign and second is a malignant. So you have to require the features of the tumor. So you can take identify the tumors features using various computer vision technology. I can say the image processing technology, and collect that features, and then you have to train means have the means one AI model, which is means ML based model, which means means analyze these features and give them means what kind of tumors is available over there. So it is like based on your data and based on your knowledge, you can design this train ML based classifier, which can give the types of tumor and also the stage of the tumor, like what kind of stage is available. And based on that, doctors are making the further treatment. So you also there means models nowadays. They are used. Many companies try to use the LLM based concept to means collect this all the output of this all the models and feed into this kind of means further treatment agent, or I can say further treatment AI system, which give the complete diagnostic report. So this is the simple means flow in the AI based screening software. So I can give the means what is the actually, you can see the this is the original image of the breast cancers, which is the four images, both LCC, LO, and RCC, and you can see when you feed this use case in the image, these all are the cancers image. So you can see the ROI extraction over here. Like that means this AI is give the means where is the actual ROI over here. So you can see this is the ROI over here in this all the images, and then you see the like image with the tumor identification. So this is the tumor, which is once you feed in the in that AI models is give the this presence of the tumor, and then you get these features which is gated using the computer vision algorithm, and then I feed these means all the features like shape, margin, lobules, angularity into the ML model, which give the tumor type. So this is a complete means flow of the means AI based breast cancer screening software. Then this is the second thing where you can feed the means ultrasound image. Is a breast ultrasound image. You can see over here the black region, which is the means tumor position actually. So means using AI detections algorithm, we detect the ROI and the means tumor over here, and also the means what are the features of that tumor you can see over here, and also the case the results is already over here, like is the benign type. So this is the means output like this you get after image analysis of the ultrasound. Then the third case means this is the AI powered cervical cancer screening software. Means this is the software which has means three different modality, or I can say the three AI models are used over here. Where one is a use for the coloscopic means images, which is used to means detect the HPV present in the cervical cancer or not. Then the second is the like I already give the use case of the pap smear cells image, which is used to means which kind of cells is available in the image cervix area. And third I put over here is a histopathology image in a AI model, which give the stage of the means cancer cells over the presented, like what kind of stage of that cancer cells. So you can see like this complete means a patient software of the means that you can use like this the patient information you can feed over here. uh, so so you can see like this which actually use as a hospitals like AI power or AI power diagnostic tool. So right now it's not the medical device, it's like under means clinical trial. We are means making the that procedures right now to get the approval to start the clinical trial of that, because this is the requirement of any medical technology when you build for the healthcare systems. So you can see like the patient information can be fed by the doctors, and then they can directly go to diagnostics. Like there are three types of image analysis you can see over here. Like so so you can see over here like three image analysis. So doctor can choose any of one out of that, means according to the patient condition. And these all three are the image AI driven AI models are put over there, which is so once you select that, means the relevant information for that screening you have to put over there, and then you have to means give the input image over here. So like this is the means relevant medical informations regarding that which is required for the screening. And then you have to means upload the image of that relevant patient. So you can see like, and then AI can make the prediction of that, and a doctor get the means screening report. Like this kind of report are generated using the means based on this information. And then means this is a complete means software like that means other finding you can do. Like this is the complete one software which is means used for the AI screening and the diagnostics. So this is one applications which is then now there are means fourth application like AI power screening screen cancer mobile application. So like this is the application which is run in your Android phone, like where you can means use AI based screen lesion classifications based means which give the various means skin conditions or the lesion condition which is present in the skin of any patient. So this means simple app which is means work as a complete this called as a digital mobile applications, or I can say digital health applications. So you can see like this is the uh, where you can feed the data. Like this kind of means you can, as a doctor, you can create the means your complete fill your complete information. Then you get the means this kind of dashboard where you can fill the basic information of the patient, and so like so you can see the like different means there is a cancer type. Then so this kind of means analysis you can do with that. Like you can see this kind of complete means history of that patients. Like this kind of this means a basic screening app which can be used in the remote places in the any part of the world. Like this is the app can be run on any device without internet. So this is the one other applications where AI based image processing can be used. Then this is the means new concept which I already tell that like large scale of histopathology image require the lots of time. So for that we are using the like image analysis with the AI, and plus we are use the sliding window method to develop the means means system which, or this is just prototype, which can analyze the like images with the 5K across 5K size to the more than that. So like you can see over here, means this is image cannot be like this image. You can see that this is a histopathology image which has a size of the, I can say, the 5,000 cross 5,000. It means 2.250k pixels over there, and means image means it slides using the Windows method, and then AI is do the analysis on that, and is give the different 8 kind of means cancer cells presented in the this big histopathology image. So it give that means representation of that image. So you can see, so like you can see that this is the various cells present over here, and you also get the actual size of the image, which is already saved in the system. So like this kind of means complete big image you can get, which give the all the means cells present according different in different color coding. So this is the uh, current means work is going on in the market, where the various companies are developing this kind of AI tools which use in the histopathology image analysis. And then like now is a like new thing which we are all are talking about, the means AI agent, or means the which is used like this word is coming in market, all are saying AI agent in the various field. Like but in the healthcare, this is just started, or this is just means study, or I can say the means R&D is just started in this field, because this is a very regulated field. So I give the one demo of this, like how the AI model, AI agent can be work. So like you can see the multimodal lung cancer assessment. So over here, like there means you can see left side, there are three different means things you can see, like upload clinical data, upload CT scan image, and upload histopathology image. So what we did in this, like we have this different data of the patient, which has a clinic data, CT scan data, and histopathology data. So we create our own models using machine learning and deep learning for these three data sets, and generate the means results for that uh, analysis of that image, and the data we generate the results of analysis, and then we feed that data into the means generative AI models, and which give the means complete holistic reports of the diagnostic. So you can see like how this kind of means system is working. So I just give the patient name over there, then the patient ID. You can I can see over, and then you can upload the data. Like this is the clinic data, then the means this is CT scan, and then the histopathology image. So once you click this generate histologic holistic report, so it like performing first three AI models are run to and analyze this all three different kind of data, which generate one means results for all three, and then that feed into the means AI in the generative AI models, which give the a holistic report of that. So this is the you can see that this data which give the clinical risk and the finding over there, and this you see that the complete report, like which is means generated by the generative AI things. Like you can see this is the report, like this is finding stage 1, stage 2, and then stage 3, and this complete report is generated using after feeding this that finding into the generative AI systems, and this give this kind of holistic diagnostic report. So this is the agent which is right now currently means doing now. The challenge is limitation and ethical consideration, which is very important in the healthcare system when the image analysis are used. So first is the data quality, which is very important in element of the any healthcare product or any health related medical image data set. So you have to collect the data which can be means have annotated by the clinician, It's means collected in the in the clinics. It not like there are many public data is available, but they may be not collected in the means regulatory pathway or the means defined procedure. That's why it means you require to standardize that data. Once we talking about the AI image processing or the AI based image analysis in the healthcare. Then third is the interoperability in the systems, like in the medical science or the medical field, the image has a particular means standard, like the DICOM standard are using. So like your image analysis is not give the output as per that system requirement, then your tools or this kind of system cannot be work. So this kind of these three things is required to means develop any kind of AI based R&D, or I can say research based product or the research based algorithm, which can be laterally converted into the product or convert in, or given into the any product. So these are the very important things. Then second is the like bias, explainability and regulatory. So like your algorithm should not be biased, so it give the means uh, means prediction in the means not in critical fair, but it have the equivalence clinical output. It not means your algorithm give only one class every time, so it like this bias for one class. This kind of means things you have to means check is a very challenging task in the healthcare where AI based image processing are concerned. Then the navigating the regulatory framework, like this is one of the uh, toughest work right now in the world, because they all are developing many products in the healthcare using AI based image processing, but you require to compliance with all the things with the regulatory of all the countries. Like in when I talk about the India, government of India is also have the means regulatory in this field, like AI based software development, or I can say AI power software development in healthcare. They have the means one particular regulations for that, and you have to explain your models using some explainable AI techniques. So like your models output, like why my models give the 90% accuracy. Your models, you use some kind of explainable AI methods to give that justification. So these kind of means things you have to consider when you develop the AI based image processing algorithm as a research point of view also, or as a you convert into in later as a in the like product or something like that. Then third is the patient privacy concern and the trust in the AI system. So like the protecting the patient data. So like I cannot share any data or any patient data without consent when I collected that data from the clinics. So once I have to make the means clinic evidence based research, then I have to means take this all the things and give the means protection consent, or give the means uh, justification I cannot use that data outside hospitals. Then you have to means inform the users why you collect the data. Like there are already consent forms when you collect the AI based images, like you collect the images from the hospitals, or you use that images for your study or your research. And then there means still the people are not trust in AI system, because there are no clear means I can say the information or education regarding AI, how AI is used full to them. Like they are means still has a hesitancy to use, or there are not openness in the market in the market as well as in research community to use AI system in the healthcare. They are also continuously educations is happening in this field. And the future direction, like towards automation, personalized healthcare. So like right now, these are the new things is coming, like federated learning and real-time analytics. Like the federal learning is like multiple institute data. You are train your model without sharing the raw data. Like it is means one kind of learning method where means multiple hospitals data are collected without means having the patient information. This is just images, which is means learn means develop the foundation model which have the information on the various sources. So it give the more genuine output, or this more acceptable output, because they have the variety in terms of the demographics and other means parameters in that. And which also give the real time means clinical analysis, like it means once I upload the image, it means learn the it means analyze the real time and give the means decision in the means real time. So these are the things are currently research are going on in this. And this like new is like integration of the multimodal data for the holistic patient assessment. So like there are various kind of means image data integrations, along with, like I already give the one example, like you can see CT scan, histopathology image, clinical data. So these kind of data means are already collected, integrated in the one system and give the holistic patient assessment. Then the genomes data means nowadays people are means developing the technology which also collect the genomes informations and use that means create the AI models for that, which is also means use. And then this other like clinical and lifestyle data, which is means you are wearing many variables nowadays, which also collect the data, which laterally use in the uh, create this holistic patient assessment. And like how the means you can means develop this kind of AI power, AI image based system. Like you have to continuously validate your AI models. So like once you develop your AI models, it cannot be like that means my today developed model can be means fixed for the next 5 years. So I have to continuously update my AI models. And then regulatory, and then you have to require the doctors or the means clinics to means develop do the any AI research based on the image in the which is in the healthcare domain. So you have to make the means integration with them, or the make the collaboration with them. So this is the means roadmap and conclusion. So yeah, so AI in medical imaging, AI power means you enhance the accuracy and speed. Diagnostic in modern health system is innovations, and right means nowadays there are many new treatment methods and improve the patient's care through this personalized medicine or the personalized health solutions. And future like addressing challenges, like there are very many challenges right now in the healthcare systems, which is means people are trying to addressing that. And thank you. If you yeah, now I open to questions, and if you require any suggestion.
So thank you very much, sir. The question answer sessions are open now. If any participants have any questions, they can ask.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, this algorithm detects cancer or any disease after the disease gets developed. But I have read somewhere that some algorithms can predict that after these many years or after getting adult, this type of disease or cancer will get developed in some body.
Yes, it
Means
can be possible. It is possible, but means that all the cases they have the data of that patient. Then they make the means things. Suppose I don't
means
have
they
the
need
patient
history,
data.
medical history, genetic history, or somewhat else.
No, all the data means those are claim that thing. You have to see their data set. Like they are collecting the data of that patient from the like their positive case. They not means give any negative case. These all are positive case, which is already diagnosed cancer after means. So they did like 35 age, they get one image. After 40 years, they get the one image where they see the clear cancer thing. But there are no any like right now I have the means something. I take my image of my screen, but I don't know after 5 years how my screen will be. You
Actually,
get
I'm
my
asking
point?
about the prediction means before few years, yeah, before few years, you can predict that cancer will get developed in this area or this region of the body.
So that means in that time also there are some syndromes already over there. I mean they on because they have only one parameter to make the decision. That's why they are going for this holistic approach to means combine this all the things together and find out before 5 years. They means right now can be stop that thing. So that reason there something already over there, but means due to one data they cannot make the means make the I can say 100% decision regarding cancer. That's why they are collecting genomes data. They collect the means laboratory data. They collect the demo means clinical data, demographic data. They combine all this data and make the decisions now. That's why they use the AI and means collect the put this all the data on that.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Good evening. Sir, what are the
Yeah.
common pitfalls of AI models in healthcare and how can they be addressed?
Can you repeat your question? I miss your
Sir, what
word,
are
I
the
think.
common pitfalls of AI models
Uh,
in healthcare?
so, so like in healthcare right now, the first is the data because all the data which is available in literature in public domain, there means few data set which is taken in actual clinical settings. So that this is the first is the data credibility, which is means once your data is not credible, then your AI tool are not credible on in healthcare. The first means this is the main issue in the healthcare system right now. All companies are making the use the same kind of data set which is generated by the some renowned research institute in the world and develop the things like when I give the one example like histopathology image slides. There means one database is a Camelon database which is used by the Google, which is used by OpenAI. They all are using that data set which is means have collected in the some clinical settings in US as well as in Europe, and they are developing their AI models using that data sets. And now they are means expand their data set with the, some hospitals in the Netherlands, like the one hospitals in the Netherlands which are the pioneer in the cancers. So like Google has made partnership with them. So these the data is one of the main point in the healthcare systems. Without data you cannot means make claim means your yeah.
Sir, and overfitting, how can overfitting be reduced when we are training disease detection models on small data sets? Sir?
So you have to means increase your data size using some augmentation method, or you have to balance the data set and tune your for hyper parameters. This is try and error methods because that means it is means difficult to sometimes because your these all the data which is available is are controlled data sets. So means you sometimes you get the means unbalanced data, which is not give the means perfect output. So you have to means develop the data set using some kind of synthetic data generation, or you can as a research point of view I give this example and not the means as a product point of view or in some kind. So or you have to use the augmentation method to balance that data sets.
Sir, we are considering the validation and we are training in validation and testing. Three will be there, right, sir? Sir, why is external validation important for AI models and healthcare?
Because you use the same data sets when you divide only into three data set, the data set is the same, only one image data set, which data set is divided into training, validation and testing. It's in one similar kind of patterns. But once external validation means I not say something and I see that means put that thing in front of my eyes. I give the simple example like means my eyes not see any one kind of means I see mobile every day, but I put something similar like mobile kind of things, and I recognize this is not mobile or this is something else, or it is mobile, but it has a simple, has a different means features. Then this kind of validation is required for the AI models, because your AI is only see one kind of patterns, and but the this pattern is not only unique in the world. Like skin cancer, I give the simple example: skin. Like Indians people has a different skin, European people has a different skin. So my AI model, which is trained on the Indian people data set, is not working in Europe, because these people has a different means patterns. So you have to validate that if your AI models, which is developed in the Indian data set, is working on European data set, European people, then is it validate? And they are most all the companies are have the struggling right now, because they are means designed only for the one country or one demographic data.
Okay, sir. Sir, as you told, we have to train the models with the data sets of the countries may differ, right, sir? Uh, Sir,
Yes,
and one more thing, sir, pre-processing play a major role, isn't it, sir? So, what's the role of pre-processing in disease detection algorithms, sir? Like,
so it is depend. So it is depend on the means how your data you are collected, or how your data set is, because many data set which is available in publicly, they are pre-processed, they are already means clean everything they put over there. So they are not raw data sets. When you collect the raw data set, you have to do that thing.
and this is the last question, sir. Why CNNs, sorry, CNN, uh, preferred for disease detection in X-ray, CT, and MRI scans? Why not RNN, sir?
Because the RNN is used for the means video analysis, like that means you can use the RNN for the image analysis also, but CNN is prove high accuracy over there. So means that's why means the convolution neural network, like we use the convolution fundamental of image processing over there. So it use very precise on the image which has a static means in nature. And when you see MRI based thing, MRI you require to use the RNN over there, because MRI is a dynamic means characteristics.
Sir, what is the role of zero padding in CNN-based disease detection, sir?
Uh, means it is a means you have to pre-processing the thing like zero padding, and that all the things you are to make your data means the data can be feed into the models, and you get the means feature extraction can be done easily.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for your feedback.
Any other questions?
Sir, K means clustering and support vector machine. Sir, is it possible to explain at least any one of that, sir, if possible?
uh, Means you want a theory on that, then I can suggest you
Sir, just
uh,
in brief, sir. Just
yeah, so
hardly
means
one.
yeah, so the K means clustering used to means grouping the data. Actually, you have the means different kind of data set. You don't know what kind of classes is available in that data set. Using K means clustering, you can means identify what kind of means class is available in that images means data sets. And the support vector is a means is a classifier. You can means classify, like I give example, like I have the ABC class in my data set, but I don't know who is A, who is B, who is C. So using K means clustering, I can identify who is A, who is B, who is C. This kind of grouping you can make. Now you give the new data, and you find this new data is a which kind of class. Then you have to use the SVM, which means give the means this new data has a class B. I hope
Sir,
my
we have a network, GAN, GAN, GAN. In that, the discriminator and the generator will be there, right, sir? So, what actually it do, sir? Like, for that, we usually take the example of the criminal and the police example, right, sir? What actually the discriminator and generator, sir?
uh, means you are asking me about the generative addressive network which generate the means new data.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it means, madam, I don't know right now the theory. I give the only example because like how it is working. Like it is a means data. It take the data with the means some information from the data sets, like it decoding the data from that. So it like get the information, discriminative information from the data, and then that features are feed to the one new NNN model which generate the new data which has the same characteristics. Simple understandings because the generative AI models, the GAN network models, theories, and that all the things you have to refer the books. For me, it's difficult to explain that thing right now.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your answer, sir. Thank you very much.
Any other questions?
So I think there is no questions. So now, on behalf of all participants, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Rohit Thanki sir for his insightful and thought-provoking sessions on AI-powered medical image analysis in healthcare 5.0. Your expertise in medical imaging, deep learning, and AI-driven healthcare solutions has not only increased our understanding but also inspired us to think about the future possibilities in diagnostics and patient care. We deeply value the clarity with which you explain complex concepts, the real world applications you highlighted, and the vision you said for next generation healthcare technologies. So, thank you, Dr. Rohit sir, for engaging with us so meaningfully and for sharing your invaluable knowledge and experience. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, Rohit, sir. Thank you for your answers. Thank you very much.
All the participants are requested to stay connected. The next session will start coming soon. Sir, you may leave, sir.
Means I can stay. Means I can means attend the session is okay.
Yes, it is okay. It is absolutely fine, sir. If you want to leave, you can leave. You can stay connected. You can stay connected, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, uh, Dr. Siva sir. Are you? I'm audible.
Yeah, you're audible. Yes.
Okay, so I'm starting the session, sir. Just a
Okay.
minute. So, welcome everyone to our second session of the day. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our esteemed expert for today's session, Dr. Siva Teja sir. Sir is principal research scientist at Niramay Health Analytics with more than 12 years of professional experience. Dr. Teja sir has dedicated his career to advancing healthcare through the integration of artificial intelligence and medical technology. At Niramaya Health Analytics, he has been instrumental in driving innovations in AI-based thermal imaging solutions, particularly in the early detection of diseases such as breast cancer. His work not only reflects scientific excellence but also presents a commitment to creating affordable, non-invasive, and accessible diagnostic solutions for society. Dr. Teja sir's research contributions and expertise in applying AI to thermal analytics have positioned him as a thought leader in his evolving space. He has actively engaged in bridging the gap between research technology and clinical practice, ensuring that advanced solutions can be applied effectively in real-world healthcare settings. Today, we will enlighten us the topic transforming healthcare with AI-driven thermal technology, where we will gain valuable insights into how cutting-edge AI is reshaping the future of healthcare, diagnostics, and patient care. So please join me in extending a very warm welcome to Dr. Siva Teja, sir. Sir, over to you.
Yeah, thank you for the kind introduction, Satish sir. So hope you can see my screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Okay, yes. So thanks again for inviting me for this wonderful session. So agenda of my talk is as follows. First, I'll briefly introduce medical imaging and artificial intelligence at high level. Then I will walk you over a new imaging modality called thermal imaging, why it is needed and what are its clinical applications, and then deep dive into the use of AI-based thermal imaging for early stage breast cancer detection. So what is medical imaging, right? So we often hear this term, and which is also commonly referred as radiology, which involves the representations of internal body parts for providing any kind of clinical interpretation or medical intervention. So in order to get an image or a series of images of a body part, what we try to do is we employ different imaging modalities. The most common imaging modality, which I think every one of us or one of our family members must have gone through, is X-ray imaging. So what happens in X-ray imaging is, we pass X-rays, which are a type of high energy electromagnetic radiation, and there is a screen film detector. If there are hard tissue structures that are there, they absorb these X-rays, whereas the soft tissues like pad and skin, they pass the X-rays. So this imaging modality is very good if you want to study any kind of, this is the basic X-ray imaging I'm talking about. It's very good if you want to study bone fractures, right? Study how the bones are forming or any kind of fracture that has happened. So the sophisticated version of it can be, you know, the sophisticated version is you use high dosage of radiation. Now, instead of using certain radiation, if you increase radiation, we can even measure the tissue differences. So that's what mammography does. So what happens in mammography image is it's the same X-rays, but we increase the dosage, so which allows us to study the fatty tissue and a malignant tissue. And another variation would be CT imaging, where you get the cross sections of a body part, and you'll be able to study the vascularity. You can be able to study the tissue differences, whether it's a bone or whether it's a soft tissue. You'll be able to know. So it is very well widely used technology, but the main disadvantage with the X-ray imaging is that we are using ionizing radiation. So the repeated exposure to X-rays can increase the risk of getting cancers. Like if you're talking about CT and mammography, right? If you do 10 CT scans or 10 mammography scans, the chance of getting cancer almost doubles, right? It increases by 50% to 100%, depending on whether it's CT or mammography. So that's one of the disadvantage. However, if you want to study the tissue differences, it's a very wonderful tool. Ultrasound uses high frequency sound waves, where we we send the high frequency sound waves, and then we study the reflection and its intensity. So whenever we want to study any kind of structures, whether it is opaque in nature or whether it's filled with fluid, this is a very good imaging modality that we use. So if you're talking about whether a cancer, whatever the tumor that we detected is filled with fluid or it's a solid structure, ultrasound is a good imaging modality to understand. If you want to understand how the structure is, whether it's a regular pattern or a irregular pattern, ultrasound is very good. And similarly, I think for any kind of cardiology, abdominal imaging, and gynecology, ultrasound is one imaging modality which helps us to study moving structures as well. MRI is compared to the other two imaging modalities, it's more on the costlier side. It uses strong magnetic fields and radio waves in order to generate detailed images of organs and tissues. What MRI is good is if you want to analyze the soft tissue. So MRI can give very good information. So the advantage with MRI is there is no ionizing radiation. So you can take a number of times MRI, but it is costly. And the variations of MRI involves functional MRI, where you inject some contrast enhancement dyes, which could help us in studying the functional aspects. And the other imaging modalities which is commonly used, we all must have heard PET-CT, which is a nuclear medicine imaging, where we inject radioactive tracers and then using CT or MRI, we try to evaluate the functional aspect of a body part. So this is very beneficial, not specifically for identifying the disease, but if we want to study the treatment process, like if you want to know whether a given treatment is working or not, or compare whether the treatment response to a drug, this is a very good imaging modality. So we have these imaging modalities, but one of the main challenge with these imaging modalities that it requires very high expertise in order to interpret these images, right? So even a small mistake could lead to delayed detection of cancers. So it requires very high expertise. And if you see the number of radiologists we are talking in Indian population, is there is only one radiologist for 100,000 population. And since we're talking about images, right? For a body part, we might be having a series of images. You know, if you're talking about MRI, we might be having 64 frames as well. Now, in order to analyze this millions of pixels, it is taxing and it's prone to errors. And further, it depends a lot on the expertise of the radiologist. There are studies that says that if a expert radiologist is reviewing the images, the accuracy could be as high as 90%. The same images, when interpreted by a, a junior radiologist, the accuracy could significantly drop to 60 to 70%. So that's where AI has, brings the advantage, where you can elevate the subjectivity, you can improve the accuracy, and produce consistent results. The previous speaker has very neatly outlined different AI techniques, but just to give a short crisp of different terms that we use, AI is a broad field that involves development of computer algorithms which performs intelligent tasks. It can be a simple if and else rule to a sophisticated, GPT-like models. Machine learning is a branch within artificial intelligence where we deal with computer algorithms which can learn on its own without being explicitly programmed. It can be done in number of ways, right? You can extract certain parameters, and then using the historic data, you can predict whether the particular characteristic or a feature set is cancer or not. And deep learning, which now we are calling as the AI, is a branch of machine learning again, which is inspired by human brain structure. How, when we see some kind of, when we see some kind of object, how our eyes are connected with the brain with millions of neurons, right? If you want to perform some kind of action, our nervous system will trigger a series of neurons. So in the same fashion, we try to connect the input and output with millions of neurons, which are mathematical functions. So the use of AI in healthcare now has been in different departments. If you see a decade ago, majority of the artificial intelligence in healthcare was for operational efficiencies. Like, if you want to speed up the digitization, or if you want to improve the claim process. So that's where AI has been used, and there was a lot of skepticism on can it be really used in disease and treatment a decade ago. But over the last decade, with the advancements in AI algorithms, uh, we have seen a significant shift and significant adoption in healthcare for different domains, starting with disease diagnosis. Now we are having AI technologies that can automatically detect whether there is a lung cancer or not given an image. Treatment monitoring is another area where, with the advance of AI, we are able to tell a particular drug is working or not, or we can even predict which drugs can yield, what kind of survivability. And it's also used in drug discovery. We all have heard about how the companies have claimed of using artificial intelligence in discovering COVID-19 drugs. Digitizing is one health record which we discussed, where we can digitize the health records, and from these health records, we can predict any kind of risk factors that might lead to certain diseases. With the advancements in both in robotics as well as AI, robotic surgery is also picking up, where we can do precise and remote surgeries. Telemedicine is another area which has picked up during COVID-19, where we can help the doctors in diagnosing the diseases, in writing the prescriptions, and then saving the notes, and then again having for creating future follow-ups. Outbreak predictions is one area, and finally personalized care. Till now, majority of the treatments are like one size fits all model, but now the world is slowly moving away from it, and we want to develop the personalized regime for the patient. So in order to do this, it's not an easy task, right? We have to understand many parameters, like, we have to study the clinical history of the patient, the current diagnosis, previous diagnosis. So it's a lot of data to analyze. Again, AI is very instrumental in developing personalized care for a particular patient to increase the disease detection and even the treatment response. So just to high level, specifically in medical imaging, what are the problem statements that we see, right? So the common problem statement is classification, where we have an image and you want to classify whether it is a tuberculosis or not, or some kind of lung abnormalities. Localization is another problem statement, where you just don't want whether it's an abnormal or not. You want to know where exactly is the region. So that's a localization problem. So in this image, you want to know where the tumor region is. So that's a localization problem. And since we deal with series of images, when we collect, for example, thermal image, which are here, or even MRI image, right? The patient can move. So um, which leads to non-alignment in the frames. So because of which, what happens is when a doctor is looking at it, it's very hard for them to study how a particular temperature, particular pixel is varying over time. So that's where it's important in medical imaging, the registration algorithms. As you can see here, the left image is capturing a thermal image of a sacrum region, and then we on the right hand side you can see a registered frame where you can see that the frames are not moving, so it allows the radiologist to study the variation in the heat patterns. And again, since we are talking about multiple images captured for a patient, the next problem statement is about how we can reconstruct a 2D or a three-dimensional image from this scattered data that we are having. We can even treat denoising as one of the problem statement. Apart from this, there are other problem statement that we see nowadays with the advancements in Gen AI. Now we are seeing like, can we generate images which could help the radiologist in training, in junior radiologists in improving their performance, right? Can we generate tough cases of atelectasis or nodules or a certain cancer like invasive ductal carcinoma, so that the radiologist can visualize these images? This is very important because many times when we're talking about certain diseases, the incidences are low. So doctors often don't have images. So when the junior radiologists are looking at it, the challenge is that how we can train them to tell that, okay, this is how the different patterns of this disease. That's where the Gen AI has been instrumental in generating these images for the doctors, and it's also helpful in improving the algorithms. So this is a slide that covers if you want to develop a AI-based medical imaging technology, what all it takes. So the first and foremost step is identifying a problem statement with true clinical need. This statement might be obvious, but it is very crucial because not all problem statement that we see might not have clinical relevance. So whenever you are trying to take a statement, right, problem statement you want to work on, first understand whether it is serving the patient or clinician, how it is improving their experience. So a simple example could be if you're trying to identify whether the person is having pneumonia with PET CT, for example, and you're trying to develop an AI-based technology for it. The challenge is you need to understand that currently we already have a low-cost, much safer options that are there with X-ray imaging. Then what is the benefit of this technology, right? So it's important to understand what are the risks and benefits of the proposed technology. This is very crucial step, even as per the regulatory clearances, because whatever you develop in medical imaging, it has to go through clinical trial and regulatory process. And the first step they recommend before even implementing is understand what are the risks and benefits of your proposed technology. If benefits outweigh the risks, then you can go ahead and then start working on the problem statement. But if the risks are more, then the chances of getting regulatory approvals and getting into the healthcare domain is very difficult. So now once we know that our technology has more benefits than it offers, than the risk it offers, then the next step is getting data, right? The challenge, which I think the previous speaker, Dr. Rohit, has clearly outlined is in medical imaging, we have very few data sets, and often they are very small data sets. They are of low variety. So when you're trying to develop models, don't just stick with one imaging, one data source. Try to pool as much as data that is available. You should spend significant amount of time in creating the data set, because the results, the model that we develop completely depends on how you curate the data. And once you get this data, the one of the important mistake many researchers do is they don't validate the authenticity of the data annotation. So when we see these open source data sets that are available, we see many of these open source data sets, they don't mention how they are arriving the ground truth. This is very important because if you're talking about detecting a breast cancer from a mammography X-ray image, the radiologist accuracy itself is 90% when we're talking about fatty tissue, and the radiologist performance drops to 60% when we're talking about dense tissue. This I'm talking about senior radiologist, and this there's a significant drop when we're talking about again junior radiologists. So it's important, you need to know how they have identified whether whether this image is having cancer or not. So you need to understand it. So the ultimate ground truth for cancer is mostly the biopsy. That is, we take the tissue sample and analyze. So that gives you the 100% ground truth. But in case you don't have the ground truth, then what you can do is you can try to employ multiple radiologists. Don't just stick with single radiologist. You can employ 3 to 5 radiologists. Then you can take some kind of majority voting or some kind of average voting, right, in order to classify certain image instead of just blindly relying on the labels given in the open source data sets. And once you are sure about, you got the data, you understood how the ground truth labels are obtained, the next step is understand what could be the potential biases that might happen. Because when we get a data, there might be certain biases that might be associated with it. It could be that all imaging modalities, all images that you're getting are obtained from a single source, right, from a single machine. Or it could be that the images that you are collecting are mainly from symptomatic population, right? And imbalance is one critical challenge that we see, where you have very few positive samples um, when compared to the negative samples. So understand these kind of potential biases that might happen, and then you can use any of the open source data sets as the any of the off-the-shelf models, deep learning, or traditional machine learning algorithms that are there, and evaluate the models on independent data sets. And when you're developing the AI models, one of the key aspects is to remember that explainability and interpretability are key to clinical integration. So whatever methodology or whatever classifier you are trying to develop, right, you need to ensure that it is explainable and interpretable to the doctor, because ultimately they are the people who would be using your technology. If you just say it is yes for cancer, no for cancer, without any justification, without allowing the doctor to understand why the model is telling, then the adaptability of the technology reduces. So make your models more generalizable and try to reproduce by having different augmentations, and getting more and more data. And understand what type of performance metrics you might need to study, because Depending on the problem statement, you might have to study different performance metrics. A simple example could be accuracy might not be a true performance metric when we deal with cancer screening, because if you have 100 population, there might be only one cancer. Even if you classify everyone as negative, you get 99% accuracy. So try to understand what are the common technology, performance metrics used in cancer screening. Typically, we talk about sensitivities, specificities, positive predictive values, negative predictive values, and AUC for model performance. So try to see what metrics are clinically valid for your problem statement. And then the next important step is understand where your model works and where your model doesn't work. Whatever your model you are building, it doesn't have to work in all cases, but you need to know where it works and where it doesn't work. This is very crucial because the next step, once you develop the model, is to get clinical trial and regulatory approvals. This is a step which you don't see in non-medical domains, but this is a crucial step. If you want to deploy in hospitals and community settings, you have to get this clinical trial and regulatory clearances. So for that, what we define is an intended use, where all this technology is used. So in order to get these clearances, it's important that you evaluate your technology in a prospective studies to increase the credibility. And to get success in these prospective studies, if you have clear definition of your inclusion criteria, right, where your model works, it increases the chances of success of the clinical studies. Once you get the clearance, the job is not done because you still need to work with doctors to improve the clinical adaptability. You need to continuously monitor the model to check for any kind of accuracy drop and then retrain it either through manual retraining or through active learning, right? The performance of the model. So with this, maybe I will move on to a case study. Um, this this is an application, a WhatsApp-based application, which we developed during COVID-19 with Art Park and Indian Institute of Sciences, Bangalore. So we developed a WhatsApp-based chest X-ray interpretation system for detecting whether a person is having COVID or not. So as we have gone over the slide, the first step we asked is what is the clinical need? Why we need to use chest X-rays for getting for diagnosing COVID-19, right? So at that point of time, RT-PCR is the most common, most preferred screening modality. But the challenge is when we talk about rural India, where almost 70% of the population resides, the RT-PCR labs are not there, because of which the RT-PCR tests used to take a week to 2 weeks, by which the severity of the disease has progressed. So we need to detect the COVID-19 as early as possible. CT scans are there, but they were very expensive. And we're talking again about the rural India, where we don't have CT scans. So how we can do early intervention and reduce the need of ICU or oxygen or ventilator, right? So that's where we studied what could be the alternate affordable options. So the British Society of Thoracic Imaging, they have approved chest radiography as a primary tool for suspecting COVID-19 pneumonia. Italian Society of Medical and Interventional Radiology also preferred the X-rays as one of the screening modality for diagnosing COVID-19. Even WHO has recommended in the absence of CT scans. So we understood that there is a need. We understood that there is a feasibility. The next step, what we have done was, can we get data, all right? So we wanted to get can we get any kind of public data sets? But we realized that there were only 500 cases, and the models which we might develop can easily overfit. So we started collecting some of the in-house data sets also so that we get the Indian population data as well. But the data that we could get is very limited at that time. So how we solve this is that though we don't have the COVID-19 labels, but we have close to 100,000 X-ray images. These are X-ray images, but they don't have diagnosis of COVID-19. They have different diagnoses, but all of them are X-ray images. So what we have done was we trained a multitask framework where where you have a feature extractor, which is common for different tasks that we have, and different heads for addressing the different data sets which we have obtained. So the assumption is that by training these multiple tasks at the same time, is that the feature extractor that we're getting would be more robust and less prone to overfitting. So we have developed this, we have tested it in-house, we have evaluated on external data sets. The results are very good. Then, in order to improve the explainability, what we have done was we used grad camps, identified the probable regions where the disease is. We also identified other abnormalities which are there in the imaging modalities and flagged them, as you can see on the right-hand side. So to summarize, we had a true clinical need. We got high performance, explainability was there, detailed list of all lung abnormalities, but we observed that very low adaptability in certain users. So this is where the post surveillance, once you release your product, you need to understand whether it is working, people are using it or not. When we analyzed, surprisingly, we saw that the data that the people are uploading involves random images. And then we even contacted them why they have uploaded the random images. They told that they want to test the system, right? Because when we give it completely free for the doctors, they want to understand, is it really genuinely classifying or it is just randomly predicting? So they were trying to give certain random images. But one of the pitfalls for any kind of deep learning model, if you don't have safeguards, is that given an image, it predicts some prediction. So doctors used to upload this kind of traffic, birds images, and the model used to predict, it has a COVID or it doesn't have a COVID. So which basically reduces the interest of the doctor and they didn't use the platform. And there are certain users who found the technology, the results are not as per the standard. And when we looked at the images, we found that the images they're uploading are not of good quality, right? Because this was done during the second wave of pandemic, and we had very less time, so we didn't put all the safeguards, and we wanted to help the community in detecting the diseases in their early stages. So we haven't had that safeguard. So, but when we analyzed, people are uploading images like, you can see there is a high tint in this. And when they're capturing images, there is a light, the tube light, which you can see. It's completely zoomed out. There are stripes. It's a high contrast image. And sometimes it's not even just image. They try to upload a direct body image. So these are some of the, things that were happening, which is leading to low performance and which is leading to dropouts. So this post-surveillance has helped us in refining our algorithm. So the immediate thing what we have done was we built a classifier. It's a contrast to learning approach. We use SimCLR. We trained the SimCLR for detecting whether it is an X-ray image or not. So this is the first level of check. When a doctor submits an image, we classify whether it's an X-ray or not. If it is not an X-ray, we send back an image saying that please upload an X-ray image. And the next step is to classify whether it's a good X-ray or a bad X-ray. If it is a good X-ray, you can forward to a next module which does the lung segmentation. And then once we get the proper region of interest, then it goes for the inference. And even here, we want to be a little bit smart. So if the model has very low confidence of predicting the lungs, we wanted to use human in the loop where we can manually segment. And then let's say if the image is classified bad. If you simply say that the image is bad, doctors don't know why the image is bad. So we had an image captioning network, which basically captions, why the model thinks it is not good. Is it because it's completely zoomed out or there is a high contrast? What is the reason? So once we deployed this, the adoption was very high. We had seen a load of almost 3,000 doctors using this per day. So to summarize the technology, a rural doctor takes a phone picture of chest X-ray of a suspected patient. Doctor simply just sends a WhatsApp message to access to WhatsApp number. Then there is a review by AI, and when the confidence are low, it also goes to technician. Then the access to AI service analyzes and generates a report with the explainable report. Then again, the doctor receives. So this closes the loop. So with this, I will jump on to the different case study, which talks about a hypothetical example. I think one of the audience have asked, what are the common pitfalls in medical imaging? Let's see, let's go over a hypothetical example to understand what could be different pitfalls that might happen when you're developing a technology. So let's assume a researcher wants to develop an AI system to classify tuberculosis using PET scan. What the researcher has done is, the researcher went and downloaded open source data. The open source data consisted of 100,000 images obtained from 1,000 lung cancer patients with labels from a single radiologist. There is no mention of any experience or anything. What the researcher has done was he or she randomly split into 80:20 and then trained a BGG16, and they got 99% accuracy on validation data set. And then they directly deployed in real setting, and it didn't perform well. So to make it interactive, from the audience, can we hear like what could be the pitfalls with this type of approach that we have seen? You can either message in the chat or you can unmute and then talk about what could be the pitfalls with this approach. Is there anyone who can tell like what is one of the mistake that okay? Is anyone speaking up, or should we go ahead? Okay. So if you see, one of the pitfall that the researcher has done is there is a data leakage that's happening, because what we are saying is that the data is obtained from 1,000 patients, and there are 100,000 images. That is, for each patient there are 100 images. If you don't split, if you're just randomly splitting 80-20 split, then there is a chance that a variation of training data is there in your validation data. So if the model overfits, you get easily 100% accuracy, right? The other important aspect is that the researcher didn't check the veracity of the ground truth. So it was a label from a single radiologist, and there is no mention of experience. If it is a junior radiologist, the accuracy is 60% accuracy. Then, if the model is trained with that kind of ground truth, when you deploy in real setting, the best accuracy it could achieve is again 60%. Even if you assume it's not overfitted, because the labels are not proper, the performance is not good. The potential biases could be the selection of lung cancer patients, because we are trying to identify whether a person is having tuberculosis or not from only lung cancer patients. So typically, people with lung cancer might have a higher risk of getting tuberculosis. So we are only analyzing the high risk population. We didn't look at the normal population. So when we apply this model without a constraint, when you are testing it, then you might be getting, because the data is completely drifted from your from the model train, so you might get a poor performance. And the researcher has mentioned that they got 99% accuracy, but as we discussed, if there is only one positive case out of 100, if you classify everything as negative, you get 100% accuracy. There was no independent testing in order to understand this beforehand, before deploying in real scenario. And then there was no risk benefit analysis that was done, because detecting pneumonia from X-ray or sputum test might be much, tuberculosis is much safer and affordable approach. With this, I'll move on to a new imaging modality called thermal imaging. So we already went over so many imaging modalities. So why this new imaging modality, right? So if you look at countries like India, we require imaging modalities that are of low cost so that we can scale it. It should be portable. And the imaging modalities, what we have seen, X-ray images, specifically CT, mammography, all these things are sophisticated images, which requires a dedicated space, dedicated expertise, not easily portable. So that's where thermal imaging comes in. They are very low cost. These are the thermal cameras, what you're seeing. You can easily carry in a backpack. So, we do screening camps by just carrying in a laptop backpack. We go and then unpack, just put the camera, capture the images, and then we'll be able to tell whether the person is having breast cancer or not. It is completely radiation free. It just collects the long wave infrared radiation that's emitted from the body. It's non-contact. So no one needs to touch the person or no one needs to see the person as well. It's non-invasive, and it's one of the only imaging modalities now that you can do it at home as well, because X-rays you can't use because it's not safer. MRI, PET, it's not, no one uses at home. So we have mobile attachments and we have wearable thermal sensors, which you can use it at home. So briefly, what is thermal imaging? It's just nothing but measure of surface temperature distribution. Every body emits long-wave infrared radiation. We just collect that long-wave infrared radiation and convert to temperature values. What you are seeing here is an array of temperature values like 35.5 degrees centigrade, which are converted into false color palettes. So as we said, every body emits the radiation. What thermal cameras does is it collects entire long-wave infrared radiation energy that's coming in. So it could be three sources. It could be coming from directly from the object. It could be reflected from other sources, and it could be from the atmosphere. So if you apply the thermodynamics principles, you'd be able to identify what is the temperature of the object. These are some of the standard parameters. So, if you're working in thermal imaging, one needs to be aware. Because by changing this, you would be changing the temperature values. So if you want to get accurate temperature values, you might need to set the emissivity. Like if you're measuring for a human body, you have to set the emissivity to 0.98. You need to ensure that there are no reflecting surfaces because they might interfere with the image, temperatures that you are capturing. So these are some of those parameters which one needs to be aware of. And once we get these temperatures, what we're talking about is the temperature values. So there is no direct way of representation. So what doctors do is they use these pseudo color palettes, which basically maps a temperature value into a color value. So if you have a temperature array varying from 20.9 degrees centigrade to 31.8 degrees centigrade, you can use this rainbow color palette where 20.9 is assigned to black and 31.2 white, and in between linearly assigned. Grayscale. So this is very good palette if the doctor wants to see any kind of hotspots, any kind of focal temperature activities. This is a very good palette. Grayscale, it's very good if the doctor wants to know whether there's a vascular structures that are there. Inverted grayscale also is same, which is just 255 minus the grayscale image, which again helps in studying the vascular structures. Iron hot is a typical thermal imaging color palette, which is used mostly for industrial purposes, not specifically for medical imaging. So if you see what are the clinical applications that this modality offers, breast cancer is the widely and most known use case of this thermal imaging, which I'll go into deep dive into this. So I'm skipping this now. And the second important clinical application is diabetic foot ulcers. So over the last few years, we are seeing a rise in population getting diabetes. And if you see, 19 to 34% of the population with diabetes will develop some kind of foot ulcers. And 20% of them ultimately have to go for foot amputation, that is removal of their foot or even leg. And the challenge for this, amputation is the challenge for this diabetic foot ulcers is that currently the way we detect is either tuning fork mechanism or needle prick, and people have to regularly go, right? So which requires expertise, lack of awareness. So that's when we thought, can we develop, can we have a imaging modality? Then, thermal imaging is one such imaging modality which can allows you understand what are the temperature variations. So whenever there is a foot ulcer, you might see elevated temperature. Whenever the cells are dying, then you can see a cold spot. So thermal imaging can give a visual representation of what is happening in the foot region, which allows us to detect, these kind of foot ulcers or any kind of cells death, in the early stages. So I'm just putting even the open source dataset that are available so that if somebody is interested and wants to work in these kind of interesting problems, they can try to download this and then work on different problem statements. Onchocerciasis is another area where thermal imaging has been shown its effectiveness. So onchocerciasis is a leading cause of blindness in African and South American countries. What happens? It's a parasitic worm, and it is transmitted. Its larvae is transmitted by a black fly. It is prominently in African and South American countries. When a black fly bites a human, it injects the larva. This larva can grow up to 15 to 45 centimeters in the body. And if and it can even lay eggs up to 100 to 1,000 eggs per day, which can again form into worms. And this entirely travels through the body. It goes to eye, and then it leads to the blindness. It is a very prominent disease in certain African and South American countries. And the challenge is that because we're talking about the worms, they can move, and then the only way of imaging modality is skin snips. And we realized that even to study the skin snips, there is only one person in African continent who can understand this. Doing skin snip itself is difficult because you have to take a tissue sample, send it to lab, and all these things. There is no imaging modality for it. And the recent exploration which we have done with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, we found that these nodules or these parasitic worms requires resources to grow when, especially when they are reproducing, right? So it requires more resources, which means it generates more heat, which means the latest thermal cameras might be able to detect. With that hypothesis, we tested this and we got very interesting results on, there's a good chance that we can detect fertile worms or not, or we can even identify whether it is a Onchocerca vulgus or not. And the other commonly used clinical application of thermal imaging medical application is to study the vascular and neck or head and neck cancers. because when we talk about head and neck, they're very close to surface. So any kind of variations or abnormalities might be easily traversed to the surface, which we can detect with thermal cameras. So that's also one area which is recently picking up. And when there are any kind of burns or when there is a fracture, you might see inflammation, there's a pain, you can see the inflammation. All of these things can be tracked with thermal imaging as well. And during COVID-19, I think you all would have seen people using thermal cameras to identify whether the person is having fever or not. And in the same fashion, you can even identify with thermal camera whether there's any kind of mental stress or not. We can even identify the respiration rate in a non-invasive, non-contact fashion. This could be very useful case, specifically when we're talking about um, neonatal ICU care, where you don't want to have these patches attached to the baby because the skin is already very thin, and when they remove it, many times even the skin comes. So you want to have a completely non-invasive way of identifying these vitals, and thermal imaging is a wonderful tool in achieving that. Veterinary medicine is another use case. Treatment monitoring is one use case, and then localizing pain, and then even doing certain acupuncture and then relieving the pain is a well-known use case of it. So if you want to know more about it, we also having this annual conference of AI over infrared thermal images. It's completely free. It's a virtual conference. Every year we conduct this to encourage. Yeah, sorry.
Can you please share the link in the chat box? Or
Sure, I will share the website link maybe towards the end of this presentation.
sure, thank you, sir.
Yes. So you can attend. It's and maybe you can even plan for next year conference as well to submit a manuscript, because there are no article processing fee, no registration, and it's virtual. So with this, I will deep dive into how we are leveraging artificial intelligence and improving the breast cancer detection. So the first and foremost question is, why breast cancer? Why not any other cancer, right? Breast cancer is one of the leading cause of cancer deaths among women all over the world. So even when you see at ages also, at different age groups, it is the leading cause of cancer deaths, even for women 20 to 30, 30 to 40, or any age group. It is the leading cause of cancer death. It is one of the uh, leading incidence rates as well. And in 2022 alone, 670,000 women lost their lives. Though in countries like United States, the survival rates are as high as 80%. If you see countries like India, the survival rate is merely 50%. 192,000 women diagnosed with breast cancer in 2022, I think, and 99,000 lost their lives to this disease. Unfortunately, it is not the case. If we detect breast cancer in the early stages, the survival rates are as high as 98, 99%, which is we can literally cure the cancer. Yet, we are detecting the cancers in their late stages. And when we try to understand what are the challenges that the country like India is facing, we understood that the gold standard is X-ray mammography, which basically uses X-rays, finds tissue density differences. If there is a cancer, then it appears as white or enhanced region, and the surrounding tissue is fatty. We can easily find the difference. But imagine if the surrounding tissue is also dense, then it's very hard to differentiate the malignant tumor from the surrounding tissue. And that's a bigger challenge in Asian countries, because even after 50 years, approximately 60 to 70% of women tend to have dense tissue, unlike Western countries, where majority of them are fatty tissue. So that's one challenge which X-ray mammography face. And there are studies, surveys that show that in India, the breast cancer is 1 decade younger. That is, if we're talking about US and other countries, the mean incidence rates are around 55 to 65 years, whereas the incidence that we see, the mean incidence is around 45 years in India, which is a age group, right? The 50% of that population are not have very low performance with X-ray mammography because they tend to have dense tissue. So mammography is not so good in delineating whether it's a malignant or normal. Apart from these limitations of density, where approximately it is now not applicable for 70%, 70 to 74% of the population, equipment cost is another major factor because these machines are very costly. It requires dedicated infrastructure because it uses radiation. You want dedicated rooms, you want it to be sealed with lead so that the radiation won't escape. And you require expertise even to conduct the imaging as well as to interpret. Again, all these are challenges when we're talking about scaling in low-income countries. And it is not easily portable as well because of all these constraints. And the other major challenge is the person has to disrobe in front of a technician. And when we're talking about rural population, these technicians sometimes could be male persons, which is not a comfortable experience for women. And in order to capture the X-ray mammography image, what happens is you want to pass the X-rays. So for that, you need to make the breast tissue flat. In order to make the breast tissue flat, we apply close to 15 to 20 kgs of pressure on the breast so that it becomes flat and we can pass the X-ray and capture the image. So it's a painful experience. Which is a barrier for women, doing the screening regularly. So this is a gold standard as per the Western countries, and these are the challenges that we're seeing in countries like India. Ultrasound and MRI are other imaging modalities, but they're typically used in adjunct with mammography. So ultrasound is very good if you are, if you know that there is a cancer in there is a tumor in certain location, and you want to identify whether it's a cancer or not, right? So ultrasound is very good there. And even in young women where mammography is not applicable, but they have some kind of symptoms. They found some lump, and you want to know whether the lump is cancer or not. So there again, ultrasound is helpful. So equipment cost is moderate. It has less infrastructure dependent. But if you want to scan a breast ultrasound, it takes close to 20 to 30 minutes, and you require a dedicated sonographer who knows how to interpret the images because it's mostly done live. So which limits it usage outside. And apart from it, because of fetal sex determination, we can't simply go and then do screening camps with ultrasound, again limiting the population level screenings. And again, manual expertise is there and disrobing in front of a technician. MRI is typically used for high risk, and because of its cost, it's only limited to metropolitan cities. It has drawbacks that we saw for other imaging modalities as well. Due to all these things, in countries like India, hand-based examination, which we call it as clinical-based examination, is the preliminary test for breast cancer detection. That is, we detect the cancers by palpation. So the multiple clinical studies has clearly outlined that hand-based examination is very subjective and the sensitivity is only 50%. And that could be a reason why we're detecting majority of the cancers in their late stages and losing many women for this disease. So that's where we researched and found that can we come up with any kind of imaging modality which addresses the challenges the countries like India are facing. So thermal imaging we found, and the advantage we found as the equipment cost, as we discussed, it's a very low cost. We can carry in a backpack. It doesn't require sophisticated power supply or anything. Normal home power supply would work. And you can make this entire screening experience privacy aware. And the only challenge, the two challenges which we saw was it still requires very, very high expertise compared to other imaging modalities because it is not standardized imaging modality. So a lot of experience is required, a lot of subjectiveness is there, and it is not a recommended standalone modality. So coming to the manual interpretation challenges, as we discussed, the thermal cameras capture the temperature values, and we use what we call as pseudo color palettes like this to convert this into color images so that doctors see some kind of gradation in the image. Now, if I use 25 degrees centigrade as my lower limit, that is, if I convert all pixels that are less than 25 degrees centigrade as black and 39 degrees as white, I'm getting this image. Same temperature array, but if I choose 28 degrees centigrade and 36 degrees centigrade, then I'm getting this image. So both represent same temperature array, but in different variations. If the doctor looks at this image, they might call it as, it looks completely normal. But if they look at this image, they might call it as malignant. And in fact, it is a biopsy-proven invasive ductal carcinoma. This is one of the biggest challenge why thermal imaging results are very subjective in nature. And it requires a lot of expertise even to analyze what this high temperature is, because this high temperature can be even caused due to benign conditions. So that is one reason why it was not quickly adopted in healthcare. So that's where we wanted to leverage the use of AI and combine with thermal imaging to make it a quantified, real-time, accurate diagnosis. So what happens in cancer, right? Cancer is nothing but uncontrolled cellular growth. So in order to grow, it requires more blood supply, so which pumps more blood to the vicinity of the tumor. So all these things generates more heat. And we have now thermal cameras, which can detect the temperature variations up to as low as 0.05 degrees centigrade, which we can't even see with eye. And the temperature variation that are caused with cancers, we can even identify even the vascular changes. So once we get these temperature values, we used AI to automatically convert this temperature matrix for a accurate, visually good looking image, which the doctor can easily look and identify the suspicious regions. We generate a real-time quantified parameters so that the doctor has some kind of quantified parameters to take a decision. So with this, instead of looking for lumps, right, which we're trying to detect with hand in countries like India, we want to propose for looking for cancerous activities. So this illustration, what you're seeing on the left side, tells like how the screening is done. So as you can see, the technician is outside, patient goes inside the cabin. It could be a room, or we can have a curtain as a partition also. So once woman goes inside, they will disrobe, and then there's a thermal camera which captures the temperature variation. So what we're capturing is just temperature values. And the technician can automatically capture these images by sitting outside, either through Wi-Fi or through a USB cable. And we have these markings which allows them to turn into different positions so that we capture the 360 degrees of the breast. And what we're seeing is a cooler which basically blows cool air so that we cool the subject for 10 to 15 minutes to remove any kind of extraneous heat. So to summarize the thermometrics test, it can detect cancer long before a lump is felt. It's completely non-contact, non-invasive, and privacy-aware. Since we are just collecting the long-wave radiation emitting from the body, it is completely safe. There is no radiation. You can take any number of times because, as we discussed, the X-ray imaging has a risk of radiation-induced cancers. So there are guidelines that says that you should not do not more than once in 2 years the mammography scan, right? But when because of which there is an increase in the interval cancers, that is between the consecutive mammography screening scans, the patients are getting cancers. So there also thermal imaging can be helpful because there is no radiation. You can use even every month also to do a personal check. It can work for women of all ages, even for dense tissue as well. It's very affordable and portable. So the journey involves when a patient comes in, the technician provides instruction to the participant. They cool the participant for 10 to 12 minutes because they might be wearing tight dress, or they might be coming from hot environment. So there is a lot of heat pattern on the surface. We just want to cool it off. So we cool it for 10 to 12 minutes. And then we capture 5 images. It's uploaded to the Thermalytics cloud software, which generates a report, sends to the doctor. Doctor verifies and then modifies or accepts the conclusion. Once the report is generated, it goes to the technician, who can download and give it to the patient. So this is an end-to-end experience. So in order to achieve this, it's not often a single model that will solve all the problems. We have multiple AI modules in order to achieve this. So the first and foremost aspects that what we have is auto imaging quality check, which basically checks whether the images are good quality or not. This is very crucial step in medical image because garbage in is garbage out. If the images that you get are not of high quality, then the predictions are not reliable. So we have multiple quality checks, which basically tells whether the images are good quality or not. Then we have localization algorithms, which localizes where is the breast region in this thermal image, because we are capturing from neck to abdomen. So where is the breast region, and where are the any other structure that we are seeing, like hotspots or the vascularity. And then we have a set of radiomics features, then we classify. So just to briefly explain the different AI modules that are happening. So one is a contrast enhancement that we do, because the camera that is generating, right, simply maps the temperature values that it is seeing in the frame into a particular color palette, because of which it is, the image that the camera captures a lot, it depends on the background as well. Imagine there is a switchboard, right, which is very hot, that might change this picture entirely. So what we have done was we had developed this contrast enhancing, which looks at the gradation within the breast tissue and within the entire body, and then tries to find these temperature limits, so that the doctor can see the abnormal thermal patterns without compromising on the accuracy. Then we have multiple quality checks. One of the common mistake that the technicians um, do while capturing the images is labeling the images. So the image what you are seeing is a right oblique image, because as you can see, so here you are seeing the right breast predominantly. So we call this as a right oblique image. So the right breast of the patient is on the left-hand side of the technician. So whenever they name the images, sometimes they name it as left oblique or right oblique. They interchangeably do that. So what happens because of that is, instead of saying the cancer is on the left breast, the algorithm might say the cancer is on the right breast. So which completely misleads the next steps and also delays the treatment for the participant. So we have a view tagging classifier, which is now a mobile net inspired architecture, which is trained on uh, I think around 200,000 plus images to tell whether, given a view, what is, whether it is belonging to a frontal or left oblique or right oblique. The other two errors which we check for is whether the images are of good focus or not. Because if the camera lens are not focused properly, the temperatures gets averaged out. And again, if the input quality is bad, the predictions are not reliable. Cooling check is one because we want to alleviate the heat pattern that's coming from tight dress or the hot environment. So if we don't cool sufficiently, we might be getting a lot of false positives as well. So we have a cooling check which tells when is the right time to capture the images. So the next step we do is the segmentation of breast region. So here again, we went with an encoder decoder architecture, which basically given a thermal image, it identifies where the breast region is. So one of the challenge here was the ground truth. You know, there is no direct way of saying that this is the exact boundary, because you can even go till here and then crop it as well. So there is no hard and fast rule that this is the only boundary that is possible. There are different variations of this that can be possible. And in fact, when we tried to do this variation, we got between two radiologists, we asked them to segment the breast region, and then we measured the dice correlation, and we found that it is only 91%, which means even between the radiologists, the agreement is 91%. So even if you train the model with this kind of ground truth that we have, maybe at most we can achieve up to 91%. So 91, 92%, yeah. So, and again, to induce this variation, we come up with a loss function which can handle this variation. So that has interestingly gave a very good dice index of 91 to 91, 92% for predicting the breast segmentation, which tells that the model is very good in estimating or as close as to human expert in predicting the segmentations. Now, the next step is to classify whether it is malignant or not. So, you might ask, why not do deep learning, or why not, why don't we have to go for radiomics-based classification? We took the option of, though we are trying with the deep learning, we still went ahead with radiomics for classification, because it is not sufficient to say yes or no. And since we're talking about a modality which is not standard, we want the doctors to understand why the model is saying, it is cancer or not. So we want it to be as interpretable and explainable for the doctor so that they can understand the diagnosis and then would be able to use this technology well. So what are radiomics? Radiomics basically characterize, these are the, you can call it as a feature values, which has some meaning into it. So with this kind of classification, what we have done was, we try to generate the reports in a much more explainable fashion. The first and foremost thing is we generate the annotated images. So whenever we identify the image, any kind of abnormality, we mark it with blue color pixel. So the doctor knows that, okay, there is something here. We mark the vascularity, and then we try to replicate how doctors classify a particular image. When doctor looks at a thermal image, we know that the doctors look at three characteristics. One, they look at, are there any focal heat patterns that are there? And if so, whether it is abnormal or not. So we call it as a hotspot score, and we gave that as a hotspot score so that it knows, the doctor knows that now whether it is a focal abnormality or not. The next parameter they look at is vascularity, if there is an abnormal vascularity there. So we have a vascular score that characterizes the vascularity. Then third parameter they look is the heat patterns around areolar region. So we had again areolar scores. And how these scores are derived is through a radiomics features, which are again discussed in detail in the report. So the doctor clearly understands why the model is saying. So with this, once the model is developed, just to complete the end-to-end pipeline, we went with the clinical studies. We published multiple studies that explains the validation of our technology compared to standard of care. We screened close to now 300,000 women in India and 22 other countries. The results show that the technology is as good as or even better in certain population cohorts than the standard imaging modality mammography. So this is one such study where we have screened 769 participants. Unfortunately, not for only went for mammography because the remaining population had dense tissue or they had already pain and doctor didn't want to subject for more pain. So they went for ultrasound, MRI, or biopsy. And when we compared in this cohort, so you can see that the screening sensitivity of thermolytics was as close to 100% with a false positive rate of 7%, whereas the screening sensitivity of mammography was 66.7. And this we're only comparing with two-thirds of population, whereas thermolytics is done for the entire population. So the technology is regulatory approved and um, obtained different quality certifications. These are some of the peer-reviewed publications on the use of thermolytics. Yes, that's it. Happy to take any questions that you might have.
Sir, kindly, can you tell me about the certifications, sir? For
So you're talking about the regulatory approvals, right?
yes, sir.
Yes. So what happens is once you develop the technology, you need to validate, and then you need to get approvals from regulatory. When we say regulatory, depending on the country you are in, the regulatory constraints changes. If you are in India and you're developing a medical technology, you need to get an approval from CDSCO. So here you have to submit the technology. You need to classify your device. You need to mention the intended use. Yeah, and depending on the country, this regulation changes. For Europe it is CE, and for Philippines it's Philippines FDA, and for US it is US FDA. Does it answer your
Thank
question?
you, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Miss, I have the question regarding the CE marking. Like the means European Union is changed the rules of the EU MDR from the last month regarding the language requirement. So your tool like is it means compatible with that language requirement of the EU MDR, or is it like just only for the English speaking?
No, so actually we haven't transitioned to MDR. We are still in MDD. The CA, because the timeline for transition of MDR is still 2028, I think. So we can use for
And
any.
and the second question is like, is it compatible with the EU AI Act or is not?
Is it compatible with?
EU AI Act. There are two acts right now in Europe.
Yes,
One is
yes,
the MDR, and second is the Artificial Intelligence Act, which is a coming picture from this year, from the
yes.
2025. So, like, is it compatible with that, like that standard, or is it still you have to get that? Because
So
it's a
there
high
is
risk device actually, as per that rules.
right. So we followed the guidelines, but we don't have a certain. I think that's not completely enforced to take it, but we are following all the required guidelines for it.
Means I just because in the Europe right now, all the means tools which or the companies who are working in the medtech industry, they have to fulfill this all the requirements. That's why I'm asking, like, what kind of C certificate it is like, because there are various
Yes, as I said,
regulations.
the act what you're mentioning, it's not like they implemented from day one. There is a transition phase. So currently,
So they
what
would.
we have,
Mhm.
yeah, currently what we have is the MDD approval of EU, and then we are transitioning to CMDD, so MDR in the next year or so.
So means that's why I'm asking, like MDR for that, like which country, because each country has their own language requirement. when you talk about the Germany is required for the submit everything in German language. So,
No,
and
that's what I'm
you have,
saying. We haven't been there, right? We are applying next year, is what I'm saying. So
okay.
currently it's MDD. Yeah. So
Yeah, so it's
which
not, you are
we
not in the
can.
European market yet. Like you are not
We
in
are
the
in
European.
no. We are in Europe market. What I'm saying is, I'm not sure about the existing regulatory guidelines. Okay, completely. Maybe the regulatory person from Nina can answer that question. But as far as I know, the MDD, there are no restrictions. So we are in currently around 10 countries in Europe: Sweden, Bulgaria, Denmark, UK, all these countries, and it is commercially available as well.
Yeah, but okay.
Yeah.
And I have other questions. Like you are trying to means replace the mammography, like that means you have do the study and means try to remove the golden standard or means give the alternative of that.
No, I don't think our goal was never to replace the mammography. As we,
Mm.
as I briefly highlighted, right? Countries like India, we don't have mammography. And if you see entire population over the world, less than 2% go for annual screening, right?
Yeah,
And
but
if you see
yeah,
many of these countries, right, what we're talking about, they don't have access to mammography. So the target is to provide access first. And then the other aspect, what we're trying to solve, even in the developing countries, is that in the developing world, or in the developed world, the challenge is mammography was not able to, no, mammography performance is low in dense tissue. So there, even as per the FDA guidelines, they clearly ask anyone who is interpreting mammography images, they have to report the density. So if it is uh, you know, ACR category C or ACR category D, they typically ask for another modality. And that's where we are thinking that we can help in diagnosing the dense tissue there. So basically, our main aim is to fill the gaps that are there, not to replace any of the standards at this point. And yes, if everything goes, because we are very early when we compare with mammography. Mammography has been there for last 40, 50 years. And then it has been studied on millions of women. So in order to say that we're replacing it, we need to do such a large scale studies. But at this point, we are talking about filling the gaps that are there currently, which is pretty huge gap.
and and you generate your own data set. Am I right? Or means
Yes, we are collecting our own data sets because the data sets are not available online. Yes.
so means how then means is a, means as a data point of view, I have the question. Like in India, we have the different temperature and different means things. Like in Europe or other part of the world, where the temperature is very low in the most of the time in the world. So how this kind of technology can be adaptable in that kind of. So you have to collect the data from the this part of the world where there are strict regulations on the data collections.
Very good question. So that's where, when we developed the radiomics based classification, we had considered this very critically because we know that we don't have to even go for country to country. Even when we talk about India itself as a geography, right? We have temperature difference when we talk about Northeast and even southern states as well, right? So there's not only the temperature difference, there is a population difference as well. So when we design these radiomics classifiers, all were developed in terms of some kind of relativeness. So we don't typically look at whether it's 32 degrees centigrade or 34 degrees centigrade. We look at some kind of relativeness, right? How high the temperature is when compared to the surrounding region. And even when we look at the standard guidelines of the medical thermography interpretation, doctors also look at if the temperature region is 1.2 degrees centigrade or 1.8 degrees centigrade, it is more suspicious. they look at the boundaries, how the boundary is. Is it jagged or is it regular? So it's not just the temperature value. Yeah, it is a mix of relative temperatures, shape-based parameters, vascular structures, which brings the whole algorithm to the more accurate. And to further address this, we even tested the algorithms on Turkey population. We tested in Zambia. We had clinical studies that shows that it is performing as good as or close to the standard of care, which is mammography. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the last question, like, is it the class 3 device or the class 2B device?
It's a class 2B device. Yeah.
Okay.
Other questions from the participants? So I think there is no question. So let me finish. Thank you very much, Dr. Siva Teja sir, for delivering such an insightful and inspiring session. Your expertise in AI-driven thermal technology has given a deeper understanding of how innovation can truly transform healthcare and make diagnostics more accurate, accessible, and patient-friendly. Your talk has not only increased our perspective on the role of AI in healthcare, but has also motivated us to think about how these technologies can be applied for the betterment of society. On behalf of every present here, I extend our heartfelt gratitude for taking the time to share your knowledge and experience with us. We truly appreciate your valuable contribution and look forward to more such enriched interactions in the future. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you all.
So all the participants, please fill the both Google Form links for attendance, and you can leave. You can leave now.